The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Welcome. Happy Friday, folks. It's Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. How's everybody doing?
Hello, everybody.
Beautiful day in downtown Clearwater.
73
degrees. Unbelievable.
And
Sun is
everyone's
shining.
on spring break except us. And boy, I've just barely got here to the studio because of all the traffic. And everyone's having fun.
Exactly.
Hope you guys are where you are, too.
Yeah, had a great week this week. I was a guest on the Allie and Tom show.
It was a wonderful show.
Yeah, Mindful Living. I really thank you guys for bringing me on to that because we had a lot of fun, first of all.
Absolutely.
And, of course, I had a little chance to work out with Allie, which was wonderful. Yeah, so
very nice.
We had a really good time. So, folks, check that out. It's on livingaprimallifestyle.com. I've got it set up under the shows. Also, of course, you can see it on TFNN.com, Mindful Living.
Our sister show. We have so much fun, all of us.
Great.
Just trying to bring great information to you all so that you can have good health and feel good and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's what our show is really about. It's trying to educate people on how we're going to remain healthy as we get older. And we certainly, every day, we get a little bit older, and I kind of celebrate that.
I liked your story on the show where you explained how you had that dream.
Oh, yeah, the dream.
Yeah. I mean, that was really interesting. And, maybe if we have time today, I want to talk to you about, one of the philosophies I have about
Well, let's talk right now about it.
Let's do it. That's what we like about this show. We do what we want to.
We do what we want to do.
Well, when you said that, it made me realize that when I get people into my programs, I explain to them that most of the reason that everyone dies, and the average age of an American life expectancy is, 75 for a man, 78 for a woman, somewhere in that area.
Somewhere there.
And of course, we're proving them wrong all the time, and things are improving. But the real reason that we're not living out our real health span is we don't digest our food.
Well, I believe that.
And, a lot of people say, well, we should eat raw food. We were engineered to eat raw food. But the state of our raw food, the raw food itself is not even containing the nutrition that we need.
Yeah. And
even in the food processing situation, a lot of this food is still subject to a lot of parasitical infection and everything. Yeah. So when
our food definitely is not as fresh because we're shipping it all over the place, first of all, in containers and trucks. It's not local a lot of times because, we have oranges from Chile, we have fish from Chile, and it goes all around the world that way now. So I think what we talk about on Primal Lifestyle is really that we need to do it locally.
We need to do it locally so we get the freshest food that we can possibly get, and we need some help. Yeah. We've got to make sure we restore digestive fire so that we can, get the minerals out of the food. A lot of people eat a lot of greens and vegetables, but they're not going to absorb these minerals unless they have good fat-soluble nutrition.
Well, another thing, too, because what I said on the show on Wednesday night was that, we were brought up in an evolutionary path to eat from a wild environment. And so that assumes that nature, or God, or Mother Earth, or whatever you want to call it, has provided everything that we need from a wild environment. And we slowly started to change that, slowly at first, and now very quickly because we're changing it all the time. So raw food in its natural, wild environment was easier, but only a few things, not a lot of things. In other words, wild meat, pretty easy to digest when it's right off the animal. Fish, definitely. Sushi, makes sense. Very easy to digest. Some plants, but mostly the sprouts.
Right.
Some of the roots you have to actually cook, like tubers and things like that. So
or ferment.
Yeah. So what actually cooking the food helped us do was save a lot of energy. And that's really what cooking allowed us to do, was get bigger brains, digest our food better.
Right.
So, there is a place for cooked food. So I think raw food is good, but
and
only
cooked
certain
food,
foods.
and cooked food is good.
So, yeah.
But the key is we need to make sure that we're have the digestive fire, the stomach acid, and I believe that the proton pump inhibitor products, the Nexium's little purple pills, are probably the biggest crime against humanity.
Well, it is, because the philosophy that, Paige, is completely wrong, because most of the time when you've got a reflux action or you've got heartburn, it's really from having
lactic acid and fermentation of rotting food from your mouth to your anus.
Yeah, and the reason it's there is because you're not digesting it. You're not digesting because you don't have enough acid.
So people ask me, what can they do?
Well, let's first describe it. So what happens is your food is filling up, and the acid rises to the top.
And that's the key point everyone wants to know. It's the lactic acid produced from the fermentation. The hydrochloric acid that actually helps break down nutrition, your meats, your amino acids, your B vitamins with intrinsic factor, is almost non-existent in this country when people are over 40.
That's right. And I notice that as I've been on this primal diet for quite a few years now, my lactic acid is really getting, powerful.
Not your lactic acid, you mean your hydrochloric acid.
My hydrochloric acid,
correct.
HCl, is very powerful, because I just digest my food much quicker. And I can feel it in my stomach, because I had stomach problems for years. And mostly it was the grains.
Yeah, it was the grains and the aflatoxins that are in grains and the mycotoxins. I think the fact that you've gone this lifestyle and now you're actually digesting your food, you can feel a big difference.
Huge difference, and I'm not hungry because I eat a lot of fat too. So
the key is, if you're under 30, you want to make sure you're taking about a half a teaspoon of air-dried sea salt somewhere in your water and on your food. And the key is air-dried sea salt. It might look like Celtic. I like Premier's pink salt.
It's not pure white. You'll notice that.
Actually, there is one that is, and that, believe it or not, Alessi's.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
They do air dry it with the old traditional method. That would be preferable. Premier's pink salt, Alessi's, and there's other ones, but look for ones that are air dried with the traditional manner. If you're over 30, that may not be enough. And why would we want that salt? Because we get the chloride. See? We get the chloride atom that helps make the hydrochloric acid.
Okay.
Over 30, we have a hard time restoring digestive fire, and if you're walking, breathing, talking, moving, and you're over 40 and you come into my office, I'm going to tell you about the ability to add, maybe up to 30% to your health span by including natural source HCl and an activator complex. So that's kind of the one thing. If you could only do a couple of things, that would be at the top of my list.
Yeah, it's funny when we were talking about this whole thing is that all the advice that we seem to get from the mainstream, the FDA, television advertising, things like that, is all wrong. And one of the things that, now that we're coming into spring, and you sent me this great article about the cancer not really being caused by the sun, there's a lot of underlying factors there. So if we just switch over and talk about sunshine for a little bit.
Yeah, don't listen to the sunscreen industry. Spending 3 hours in the sun per day reduces breast cancer up to 50%. And folks, we've been seeing a lot of research coming out of the power of vitamin D. And if you've been listening to the show, you know that we've talked about the importance of the sulfurization of the vitamin D that happens only when you're in the sun. Now, vitamin D supplementation is important when you don't get the right exposure.
Especially in northern climates in the winter.
And unfortunately, if you look at the line, it really is just slightly above Atlanta.
Yeah.
Very few people above Atlanta in the northern hemisphere really get the proper amount, except for maybe in the high part of summer.
So the best place to get it is from the sun, but this supplement is good
Just come down here and visit us in Florida.
There you go. That's really the answer. You need to come and see Paige and myself. But another thing about it is sunscreens actually can be a problem besides not getting enough sun.
Well, the toxic chemicals in sunscreens, and I think now that we're all starting to step back and look at things, we understand now that really our skin is another thing. If you put it on your skin, you're eating it. So if you would feel comfortable taking your sunscreen bottle and squirting it down your throat, well, then put it on your skin. But if not...
We don't encourage that, by the way.
No. And, I have a lot of women, because, in my age range where, we've been told over and over again that sun is very damaging to our face. Well, yeah, we're paying for our sins when we were younger, when we did the burn and peel.
Well, you also
and
have
burn and peel.
Yeah, we did that, and I remember putting Vaseline on me,
or the iodine,
and the baby oil, those things, and it was always good to get that burn out of the way so then you could tan later on. But I really didn't notice problems with the sun until I moved to Florida, and I was in the sun constantly. But I found out later when I switched my diet that the skin problems that I was having weren't really from the sun exposure. A good example is my wife is a redhead. I've always been very sensitive to sun, and been in the sun, back in the 50s when she was down living in Miami, and burning all the time, of course. And having, when she goes to the dermatologist every 3 to 6 months, they check her out, and for year after year, every single time she went, they were scraping something off.
Oh yeah, they get about $500 on each one of those little things.
Yeah, so
scrape.
So there was always a problem there. And then when we switched to the paleo, it was about 2 years afterwards. Then all of a sudden, no more problems.
Isn't that amazing?
She wasn't getting cut anymore. She wasn't getting burned anymore. She wasn't doing, getting all these little treatments because nothing showed up anymore. And now it's been 3.5, 4 years that she goes and she has nothing done anymore. He goes, my God. And now our dermatologist, Frank Armstrong, good friend of ours too, he says, and I had talked to him before about, I think diet really has a big play. He says, that's not nonsense, Now, when he switched over to the paleo diet, he's about a year into it, and he says, definitely it's the diet. And it's the grains that irritate. It's that small inflammation that you get that irritates your skin because the toxins are trying to get out. And where does it get out? Through the skin a lot.
Well, we also have the ages that are created, the advanced glycation end products that often you'll see results of those when you start to see the little brown spots that people have.
Okay.
And that's a sign of lipoification, they call it.
Yeah. And the glycation is really a process where glycose is mixing with the protein, and that they bind together in the molecules. And those things bind together and are very sticky, and then they start sticking to things. And what happens on your skin, it shows up as wrinkles. But imagine, folks, inside your body what it does. We don't see that. So all your vital organs and your arteries and everything are impacted by the glycation. And that's probably one of the biggest causes of big problems in later life.
Exactly.
It's a slow process.
I was talking with someone on Facebook, and we were talking about the fact that, cholesterol is no more the cause of heart disease than the paramedic is at the scene of the accident. The paramedic's there to save your life.
Yeah.
The cholesterol's there to do the repairs, most likely from the advanced glycation end products.
That's right.
All that wrinkling inside, wrinkling on your skin, so cut out the sugars. And
folks, the number here is 877-927-6648. Please pick up my Health Signals newsletter because you're going to get a lot of information about how to stay healthy, wealthy, and wise so you can keep on trading. So Paige and I will be back in a couple minutes, and we got a lot of stuff on the shelf here, so we're going to dig it out for you. Be right back, folks.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back, everybody. We've been talking a little bit about getting in the sun. It's spring, and Nico and I want to give you a couple tips on how to really maximize your vitamin D building. You know, in one day in the sun, you can build up to 100,000 international units of natural vitamin D, but we got to do it safely, right?
Yeah. So how much vitamin D do we really need? It's about 1,000 per maybe 50 pounds or something like that, I think, a day.
Are you talking about when you talk about supplementation?
Yeah, supplementation. Because I take about 2,000. I'm at the low end, but I get sun too. So
yeah,
I take 4,000. Excuse me. So I take two of them.
I encourage people to test their vitamin D.
Okay.
And then supplement accordingly. Unfortunately, if your vitamin D is under 50, you're going to have to take a lot more than 2 to raise it to where I'd like to see it 70 to 100.
Okay.
But let's talk about using the sun, because you know this article that we just were citing said that spending 3 hours in the sun per day reduces breast cancer up to 50%. Now, of course, we don't suggest that you run out there and start laying in the sun for 3 hours. You will then burn to a crisp.
Yeah, start with 10 minutes.
And that's not using your common sense. So it's spring. You know, start going out in the sun for 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And
try not to do it at noon. You know, do the hours between 9 and 11.
Oh, actually, they're saying the maximum vitamin D absorption is at noon. But again, you've got to make sure that you're minimizing the time. And then as far as those sensitive places like the décolleté in the face, you can wear a hat that exposes those big areas. We've got a caller on the line. Are you there?
Yes, Paige and Nico. Hi, this is Ilona.
Oh, hey, Ilona.
How are you?
Doing
wonderful. Great to hear you.
Nice to hear you. I always listen after the hours, but I have a little moment, so I thought I'll call you. But you were touching on something that is actually close to my heart. I have a cousin who's has a skin discoloration, and it's mostly visible on her face. So it's her whole face is actually one color, but you can see by her hairline there is a lighter line, so outline of around the hair, and then sometimes a little bit on her body. And she said she got this after her pregnancy.
Yeah, that's called chlasma or melasma. And it is very difficult to control, and I actually had it, and if you looked at me up close, you'd see that I still have a little bit of it on my neck. It is a interaction to the sun and imbalanced estrogen levels. And so those people whose estrogens get really high during the pregnancy and maybe the progesterone wasn't as high to balance it out, that is something that she's going to want to protect when she is out in the sun. But that's, like I said, I don't suggest using your face as the sun antenna.
Sure.
You know, you get a little bit of sun on your face, protect it with a healthy sunscreen. We're going to give you a recipe here in a second. And that would be a good move for her. And over the years, this will fade. I would suggest she check her hormones. I can help her do that. And
well, she's actually visiting here, but she's leaving. She's from Poland, so it's going to be hard to test her, because that was the first thought that I thought she could do. So I have to find somebody, probably help her find somebody over there who could do that for her.
Yeah, suggest she work with someone to help balance her healthy. How old is she?
37.
Right. So she's probably running a little low in the tank on the progesterone.
Yeah, I know that for a fact, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe doing, supplementation with bioidentical progesterone and herbs that encourage that will actually help encourage your own natural production.
Okay.
And if she, I'm always available by email too, Alona, so if I can help.
Yeah. Very good.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Alona, for the call.
You guys doing a wonderful job.
Well, thank you.
Well, we enjoy hearing from you. Thanks, Alona.
In the chat room, they were asking for men and women is the number of units 70 to 100 of vitamin D. This is the vitamin D count, right?
Right. Your measurement when you get the blood test. Okay, so if you go to your doctor and you are in that 30 to 50, they'll tell you that you're in the normal range. But I want to remind you guys what the normal lab test range are. The lab companies take the blood tests of the entire population. So if you've looked at the population of Americans, we are the sickest industrialized country. So the range of normal is not optimal. And what I discuss is, from a functional medicine perspective, functional health is the word I like to use, we want to see you be in the 70 to 100 to prevent disease and to turn off those epigenetic influences that vitamin D is so powerful doing. When vitamin D levels are optimized, and that's way over 50, it's more like 70 to 100, it modulates 300 to 500 different genetic markers that prevent disease. So it would seem natural.
So is it the same number for men and women? Does it change? Is it because
I don't know. I believe it's pretty much the same for both. Right. Yeah. So, gosh, this was a short segment. So we'll come back. I just want to go over a couple things, because if we start the spring out right, we can really build our reserve.
Yeah, and what we have, too, is a nice recipe for some SPF 6 to 8, which is really
a little nice, natural sun protection
so we'll
and common sense. We'll see you when we get back.
Yep.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is back with another Tiger Dollar special, and as part of this promotion, not only can you receive up to a 25% bonus on whatever you spend, but you can also gain access to a 5-part live webinar series with Tom O'Brien taking place the week of April 28th. Each morning during the week at 8 a.m., Tom O'Brien will walk you through how he sets up the market live and digest the previous day's trading action while analyzing overnight markets abroad in order to anticipate what kind of trading day to expect. Each 60-minute live morning webinar will be archived by around 9:30 a.m. that very morning, so that if you can't attend live, it'll be available for your viewing pleasure on demand whenever you're ready. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN newsletter or service, and they never expire. So now is a great time to lock in extra savings on all TFNN products. Don't miss out on Tom O'Brien's 5-part webinar series. Get your Tiger Dollars today with up to a 25% bonus on whatever you spend before this special is over by visiting TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. The phone number here is 877-927-6648, so give us a call. And please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I got a new one coming out next week, and haven't even written it yet, but it's going to be full of good stuff. And one of the things I'm going to put in there is this recipe that Paige sent to me.
Yeah, this is from Gorgeously Green, and it's a great way to make your own healthy sunscreen. Now note, guys, this is an SPF factor, which is kind of just a guideline, you know, of 6 to 8. So obviously this is not going to allow you to sit in the sun for hours upon hours, but you know, it's got some great natural ingredients: coconut oil, shea butter, avocado, sesame, and aloe vera. Very easy for you to make at home. These are all oils you should probably have in your natural kitchen, natural pharmacy.
Yeah, so it's 2 tablespoons of virgin coconut oil, 1 tablespoon of shea butter.
Shea butter, correct.
Yeah. 1 tablespoon of avocado oil, a half a teaspoon of sesame oil, and a half a teaspoon of aloe vera gel. Notice there are mostly fats.
Exactly, and avocado and sesame oil are very rich in the whole fractions, all 8 fractions of vitamin E. So very good for the skin. I imagine that this would be something really nice to reapply. So as we were saying before the break, you know, start getting a little bit of sun now. While you're at it, take your shoes off. I know some of you may still have some weather that's not exactly warm, but you can get the sun on your legs and your arms and start kind of building that base. You know, there were some things in this article. We're going to put it in the newsletter so those of you will be able to see it. And because sometimes I just really think this is important information. It's very timely. The sun does not cause cancer, and this makes sense.
It does.
Researchers have concluded...
It makes sense, Paige, because for thousands of years we were always in the sun, mostly naked probably in the tropical areas.
Making our natural protective vitamin E as we went about our day.
Yeah, and I noticed when I was first came to Florida, it didn't seem to be a problem. It got to be a problem later on as I was eating more grains.
What happens to a plant when they get in the sun?
It grows.
No, when they don't get sun.
Oh, when they don't get in the sun,
exactly.
they don't grow. Exactly.
Yeah. So researchers have concluded that UVA exposure has not contributed to the rise in the incidence of melanoma over the past 30 years. UVA makes up 90% of the ultraviolet light spectrum of sunlight. So I have a thesis that melanoma is a chemical-induced cancer. So if we're going to continue to use these chemical sunscreens, I see that a lot of people that work in chemical-intensive environments. I have a friend who's a hairdresser, got melanoma. A dermatologist I know got it. So, there's all these little chemicals they're dealing with on their skin. Not dermatologists fearful of being in the sun. Now, how ironic is that?
But even our household cleaners.
Exactly, the toxins.
We're definitely inundated with all kinds of toxins every day from everything.
Okay, so get out in the sun, guys, and turn on those genes that protect you from cancer and look good while you're at it. Because, I tell you what, I think everybody looks a lot better with a little bit of sun, don't you?
Yeah,
that's true. Look healthy.
Yeah, sure.
So
what else do you want to talk about?
Well, speaking of that, while we're kind of on, cancer and skin, I saw an article about naringin, which reduces cervical and breast cancer tumors by up to 75%. So I was kind of on a little roll this week in, looking at a lot of evidence-based alternative and natural medicine. And this is really talking about the essential oils that are found in citruses, primarily grapefruit. So one of my favorite little secrets, while you're at it and you buy those healthy oils that we just talked about to make your sunscreen, make yourself a little bottle with the essential, with the carrier oil in it. Buy some essential oil of grapefruit and periodically rub it underneath your arms and your lymphs and around your breasts. Now, do remember that citruses can be phototoxic, and when I say phototoxic, that doesn't mean a bad thing. It just means it could make you sensitive to sun. So I would apply these at night periodically, when you're not really going out in the sun. But I thought that was just a neat thing to share with people, the power of essential oils and helping to address...
Now, women are really adapted to do this. Men, not so much. I can't see my jiu-jitsu buddies rubbing their breasts with this.
Well, you don't really need to, because that's not,
okay.
But it had a 50% inhibition of a certain, human cervical cancer cells. I remember when I was doing one of my studies, this information came out. So the exact dose of grapefruit to be administered in humans for the best results is yet to be studied. We can be sure that citrus flavonoids are showing great promise in reducing cervical and breast cancer. So just want you to know, using these oils and adding essential oils can be a really healthy way to fight and prevent things that we see.
I think so too, and many of the oils have great scents. So aromatherapy is involved in that. Yeah, very cool.
Okay, so we wanted to talk a little bit about the spice that prevents fluoride from damaging your brain.
Yeah, because we have a lot of exposure to fluoride, don't we?
We sure do, and as you all know, that we in the United States we choose to fluoridate the majority of our water, and it has had really quite catastrophic effects on our health. What we have found through research is that turmeric, again, helps to remediate the damage caused by fluoride. And we're going to talk, after we kind of go over some of this research, I want to kind of give you some ideas of my favorite forms of getting the beneficial compounds in turmeric into your body so that you can use it.
But first we have Tom from Orlando on the line.
Oh.
He wants to talk about the HCl, I believe. So, Tom, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, doing good, doing better, because I take HCl regularly, like Paige and you were talking about earlier.
Okay.
I just want to tell you, you hear everybody talk about they've got digestive symptom this and symptom that. I never had any symptoms that I knew of. I was in my early 50s a few years ago, and it wasn't until I went to a QRI practitioner, of which Paige Clarke is one, and I go to one in my town, and he tested me and found out that I needed some HCl. I also needed some digestive enzymes too.
Right.
And I eventually found out that because we're eating cooked food when we were designed for raw, we wear out our stomach's ability to make stomach acid, HCl, and our pancreas ability to make pancreatic enzymes. And because of that, the food rots, and you've been talking about that. Well, I didn't know that I had any symptoms, but when I started taking HCl and enzymes, and then I learned what they were supposed to do and why I needed them, I was surprised to find that I did have symptoms and didn't know it. When I had the HCl right, I did not get plaque building up on my teeth anymore.
Correct. Or the tough skin on the feet, right?
I'm not sure about that. But in any case,
what are the symptoms that you have then, besides the?
Well, yeah. Let me tell you that this was a big one for me. I had no idea that it's not normal to have intestinal gas.
Yeah.
Shoot, as boys growing up, we thought we'd have contests.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And of course, I grew up in New York State, where pasteurized dairy was a staple 3 times a day, and so as I'm taking enzymes and HCl, I find I don't have intestinal gas anymore.
Correct.
And I learned from Dr. Marshall that if the gas has no odor, you have carbohydrates that are rotting. If it does have odor, bad odor, then you've got protein or fats that are rotting.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have any rotting food if you have adequate enzymes and HCl. And so my life is different now, even though I didn't think that I had any symptoms before I added these supplements.
Yeah.
And Tom, your story is so much like mine. When I first started training with Dr. Marshall, I didn't think I had many symptoms either. And when I had my first QRA exam, they said that I needed 30 HCl a day.
Wow.
I was shocked, but I attribute my HCl detox kit to turning my health around, where I believe I had probably some serious things coming down the line. So I tell people my story about that. But I'm so glad you called, and as we know, the type of HCl that you use is important. And what I use is a naturally derived form from sugar beets, and that's not genetically modified sugar beets, right, Tom?
Yes, and there's no excipients added to the process. Some manufacturers take a very good HCl source and then put it in gelatin capsules or add magnesium stearate and other things which have been shown to damage your DNA long term. So.
Yeah, and Tom, and you can stay with the line, that's another key point. What a lot of people ask me is, unfortunately, a lot of supplements I just can't support, because although that formula might have been great, and even Dr. Oz talked about it, but once they add the excipients to it, we're doing your DNA a disservice, because our DNA communicates via light. We're biophotonic via the field, the energetic field that surrounds you that is actually really your body. So only live source nutrition will work and deliver that light. But the key is, too, with our HCl detox therapy, is the key synergistic factor of adding a potassium synergist that actually helps to add the methyl groups that we lose when we eat cooked food. Mm-hmm. So not only do we want to digest, we want to disinfect our food, but we want to rebuild the methyl groups that we've lost with aging. It's estimated, Tom, right, that we've lost 30% of our life or health span as a result of cooked food and tainted food. And the test done, and this research was done back in the 1920s or 1930s or so with a Dr. Guy. Mm-hmm. I always send my clients to read this research. It's called HCl Detox Therapy, which is what this product that I recommend was designed around. But it shows the longevity-enhancing benefits of taking HCl always after cooked food, and an activator, potassium synergist, we call it the kit, and even taking it between meals to do some tissue cleansing. So.
Well, I just wanted, my main point was that I was in denial for years. Somebody before QRA had said that I needed HCl. Well, I don't need that. I play volleyball. I'm in good shape. I don't have any problems. I didn't realize that I had problems and they were going to be getting worse.
And Tom, I like that you shared the point about the buildup on the teeth. If you're going to the dentist for your teeth cleaning, they're saying, oh, you got a lot of tartar and buildup. That should be sign number one to you, whether or not you pass gas or do have gas or any acid indigestion or anything, that you're not getting the proper stomach acid, and is creating a buildup on your teeth.
Oh, I had tons of tartar for years, mm-hmm. and didn't realize it was a bad thing. It's not a cavity, so why can't it be bad? But now I don't have that, and my teeth for the first time, I got on HCL and then went to the dentist and got all the tartar cleaned off, and my teeth feel slippery, and I had forgotten. Been decades since they felt slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a cool feeling. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
Yeah, we appreciate your calls, Tom. They're always great. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, well, that was great that he called about that. Yeah. So, if any of you guys want to learn a little bit more about HCL detox therapy, give me a call. I can send you that article. It's kind of the inspiration for that. You can email me, paige@tfnn.com.
Correct.
So let's get back to turmeric. Speaking of
the spice that prevents fluoride.
Well, and does so many other things, reduces inflammation. But I want to tell you, let me find this. A lot of people have asked me, well, what's the best way to take turmeric? Everyone's talking about turmeric.
Yes.
Well, if you notice in recipes and the cultures that use turmeric in cooking, it's often part of a sauce, like a curry, that has coconut milk or fats or ghee, butter, right?
Right.
So we know that this spice is better used in a fat source. But the ancient cultures also used it as a fermented spice. And I think we have another call, is that right? No.
No.
Okay. I'm not sure. Al was waving at us there. But the turmeric, that I prefer to use is a fermented turmeric.
Okay.
And that's because it gets in right at the capillary level at the bloodstream. So that's just one of the things I wanted to share.
Well, turmeric, of course, is an anti-inflammatory, first of all. It also aids in digestion.
Helps to create restful sleep because of the lowering of inflammation. But here's previous research on curcumin, which is the actual active ingredient, indicates that the reason turmeric is such a powerful nutrient is that it is capable of activating and acting as an antioxidant in 3 distinct and different ways. One is as a singlet oxygen, the other one is the hydroxyl radicals, and the third is as superoxide radical damage, helping to stop that. And that's very powerful because there's very few substances that can do that. That and DHLA, which is a fully reduced form of alpha-lipoic acid. Actually, DHLA doesn't even work on the SOD fraction of it. So.
Well, another way to look at it too is the cultures that use turmeric were cultures that really started using a lot of grains in their diet. So I think they were kind of forced into using these products to help digest those things that don't digest that well.
That's a really great point. I never really thought of it that way.
When you look at cultures, I really like to look at what's the reason for this. It's kind of like, why did the Japanese use soybeans? Well, they used soybeans so they could culture and sour them and ferment them for a long time so they could build that bacteria up. So when they ate it, the bacteria is what they were after. They weren't after the soybeans.
Well, and that's
so similar type of thing.
That's the exact reason. If you work with me, I teach you how to make a super smoothie and a terrific tonic. And so fermented tonics are what I use as my way of delivering it.
And that really helps your whole digestive system.
Absolutely.
So, and that's a good reason to incorporate all these types of foods into your diet because we're inundated with problem with our digestion in our modern food. So that's a good thing. So the number here is 877-927-6648. You still have one chance to give us a call. And
we're waiting for you.
That's right. And pick up the Health Signals newsletter. And Paige and I will be back in a moment.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the diagnostic box spread analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's diagnostic box spread analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days, unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Up next, the Diagnostics Trading Hour with Daryl Martin here on TFNN.
Welcome back, everybody, and we've been sharing living a primal lifestyle. We are, and we hope you are too, and we're trying to give you some tools to do just that. And so we've got an article I want to share with you. Studies prove without a doubt that unvaccinated children are far healthier than their vaccinated peers. And I really enjoyed reading this article because many of you may have seen it, but there was a New York Times article written by a doctor, and I don't remember her name, I don't care about her name, but she was a pediatrician, and she was calling for for us to remove exemption rights of parents. In other words, she was saying we really need to take away the right of parents to choose not to vaccinate their children because these unvaccinated children are a danger. Well, there was a great rebuttal from a mom, and she said, why in the world would I want to use a vaccine to prevent a rash like the measles that lasts for 3 or 4 days and subject my child to potentially something terrible like Guillain-Barré's or autism?
Yeah, usually the diseases that crop up later because of the vaccination and not having the disease, like the chickenpox and things like that, are worse because you get shingles later on in life. And
exactly.
Much worse than the chickenpox.
Would much rather have my child get the chickenpox so that they can have that natural immunity.
Yeah.
A study from the 1990s has come to light proving that compared to unvaccinated children, vaccinated children were more likely to suffer from asthma, eczema, ear infections, hyperactivity, and many other chronic conditions. Furthermore, the study identified that it was a 10-fold increase in the incidence of tonsillitis in the children who were vaccinated and a total lack of tonsillectomy operations among the children who were unvaccinated. Folks, does that sound to you like every American child today that's vaccinated? Tonsil problems, asthma, eczema, chronic ear infections. I just don't know what else to say.
You know, I really do believe it should be a right for the parent to make the decision.
Right. Not just a religious exemption, a parenting right exemption to be able to read, research, and through your own intellect make a informed decision of what is in the best interest of your child.
Because it's not like measles where, I mean, there can be epidemics of measles, but it's not like that if your children had measles once, you know, you only get it once, right, measles?
Right. And the other thing about it is, if you take a look at these studies, you will see that at the time these vaccinations were introduced, the disease was already in a self-limiting phase.
Most of the time that seems to be the case, too.
Yeah. You can Google these charts and you'll see this. A great site on Facebook is VacTruth, VacTruth.com. Right. They have a Facebook page. So
there's also a great book called The Vaccine Illusion. That we talked about once before, and that's by Tatiana Olbeck. I forget her name. Oh, yeah. So,
yeah. Vaccine Illusion, great book that we'd recommend you get.
And also, she has some talk, so if you go to YouTube and just put Vaccine Illusion in here, or you put her first name, Tatiana, Tetyana, she's not the greatest speaker, but she has really good information. So
I'm sure the book would probably be a good thing if you have kids or grandkids.
Yeah.
And, you know, even beyond that, let's take a look at all of us that might still be entertaining the idea that we should be getting these booster shots or immunizations. This is also being proven not to be the case.
And this book is, I think, in the public domain, so you can probably just Google it and find the PDF that will automatically download it for you, so probably no cost at all. So a lot of information about vaccines. Both sides of the story are usually there. Got to make up your own mind whether you want to do this or not, but I think Paige and I are pretty convinced that we don't want to be vaccinated. We don't want our children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren to be vaccinated, in my case anyway.
Yes. So, you know, again, the most important thing is that we have the right to choose, to get information. That's what this show's all about. We want you to lead a naturally healthy life.
Yes, we do.
We want you to have information so you can make great choices for you and your family. And we want you to have fun, and go have fun in the sun. It's a beautiful weekend coming. I guess our show's over for this week.
Yeah, I guess it is, too.
If you need to contact us, Paige at TFNN.com, Nico at TFNN.com. We'll get back to you.
And we'll see you next week.
Be safe, be healthy.
See you later.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.